Hi, and welcome to Arbster.io, revolutionizing the way arborists plan and work. Upon opening the app, you will be greeted by an onboarding screen. This shows you some of the features that the app has and some of the things which you can do inside of the app. After the onboarding section, you will be taken to either sign up or sign in. You can choose to sign up where you can enter your details or sign up with Google or Apple. You can also choose to log in if you have an existing account, and here you can also use Google or Apple. For this demonstration, we'll be logging in with Google, so you just press the Google button and choose the Google account you want to sign in with. Then you will be taken to this first home screen where you can get an overview of your day, of your upcoming jobs, as well as a brief calendar for this week. Then you can press one of these jobs and get the details. For example, we can change this job title to something else just for demonstration purposes. Maybe we're doing some hedge cutting or hedge trimming, so we'll change the title to reflect that. After this, we can move on to the other sections of the job description. So for example, we can change the description to trimming hedges in this particular location, or whatever else that may be relevant for your particular job. Maybe there's stuff you need to keep in mind, etc. Then after this, we can move on to change the time and the date of this particular job. So maybe this job happens to be on the 21st of February. We will change the date to then, and it will change the end time as well. So it will last for about an hour and a half maybe. And then we can also go on to change the rate, what we'll be charging for this job, so we can reflect on this later on. And then we can also change the location if we please. After this, you can press the three little buttons at the top, and you can press add to calendar, where you can integrate this seamlessly with your device's calendar and add it to that. You can also export this to a PDF in case you want to share it with someone on email or WhatsApp, for example, and it will generate the PDF with the details that you've put in previously. You can also change the photos by pressing the same three buttons and pressing edit images. Here we can go and we can just add a random image. Now I just happen to have a sample of this app, so we'll add that, and then that will show up in the little carousel at the top. Pretty neat. After this, we can move on to the risk assessment part of the job, where we can start a risk assessment for this particular job. There's a lot of details here that you can fill in, for example, pedestrians and cyclists, if this is a risk, whatever measure you've taken to combat that particular risk. And you can also upload images to this. So for example, now we will just add one of these sample images that I chose from the previous one, but you can add whatever you may have. For example, sometimes there's damage to the property already, so you might want to document it in case the customer claims that you were the one who damaged the fence, for example. So this is perfect to add images here. Then you can also just export this to PDF in order to be able to share this risk assessment, or just save it for future documentation, and it exports the details that you've added as well as the images. Moving on from the risk assessment, after closing this, we can then see that this is updated to completed, which is what you're going to need for every job site if you want to complete it. Then we have the gear checklist. Here you can add stuff to this particular job. So now we have this just happens to be a screenshot of shoes, but you can add a particular piece of gear. For example, now I'm adding these pants to this particular job. That we can also edit the details. For example, we can change the gear name, and you can also move on to changing stuff like the gear expiry date, gear use date, we need to check the gear, etc., as well as the serial number to keep track of the gear you have. But you can assign this in a gear checklist to this particular job, so you know what you need to bring. Moving back to the home screen, we then have a couple of other views. For example, we have the calendar view, where you can view all of the jobs in a particular date range. So now we take February, and we're gonna see, okay, we only have 2 jobs in February that are upcoming, so we're gonna be moving on to this week's view, where you can just get an overview over this particular week. If you have one day with multiple jobs, for example, this is a pretty neat view. Then we can move on to all jobs, and we can check for all jobs. We can then press this one, and we can change the status to completed, and then we'll be able to find this in the complete job section, for example. And then we have sections like this for all the other statuses as well. When I press the plus at the bottom to add a new job, I'm taken to this subscription feature, where you can sign up for a 2-week free trial if you want to, and then you'll be able to create new jobs. Then we can move on over to the edit info section, where you can, for example, change your currency, you can change your company, you can change your country, you can edit general details such as your name, your last name, etc. And you can also delete all of your user data if that's what you want to do. But now we're just going to change my country to Sweden and my currency to euro, because that's what I prefer to use. Moving on, we have the gear section, where you can update gear information. You can also use the QR code scanner in order to be able to edit your gear serial number, etc. But this is also something which you require a premium subscription for, and it can easily be done with a 2-week free trial in order for you to test it out. Then we have a little bit of safety module, where you can access your risk assessments. You can also read your safety articles, for example, as well as access some of your own personal medical information. Here you can access stuff such as emergency contact, blood type, etc., or any stuff you might need in an emergency situation. Moving on, there's also an export data feature, where you can choose a particular location to save your data, and then you can save it there, and it will be saved as a CSV file in whatever location that you choose. So you can export job data, gear data, or risk assessment data. Then we have about the app section where you can read about our privacy policy, you can contact us, etc. Obviously just the boring stuff that you need to have in the app according to the App Store. But that is a pretty quick overview of Arbster. You can also access all of these pages from the side menu if you find that method of navigation quicker. That is a brief overview of arbster.io with some of the capabilities of the app as well as some of the things you can do in it. If you have any ideas for features, we're always open to feedback, so head over to the website and press contact us in order to submit some ideas for future features that we can add to the app, or if you have any bugs, etc. stuff that you want to report. We're always open to hear from you. Thank you for watching this brief walkthrough. You can sign up for Arbster for free for 2 weeks in the app if you download it from the App Store or the Play Store today. Thank you for watching.